Hello, lovelies. This is not another edition of Hold My Coffee. This is actually the Writers with Disability tag for chronic illness that I was tagged by Megan McCarthy. Her channel's below. And I'm going to read the tags. I don't normally film on days like I'm having today. I'm having a very bad day. The whole side of my face is numb. My right side is swollen. And I just need to sit outside under my tree today and be still. Um, you can probably hear my goats and my cats are all wanting to be part of the video. And the flowers are blooming, so the ladies are all busy. I'm just going to start. Question 1. What chronic pain or disability do you have? Do you have multiple? No, yes. It's complicated. Being a very willful person um, means that every time I've ever had a major illness or incident, I push through it. I just, I do. My goal is to get better every time. Um, and having a stroke, before I had my stroke, I was diagnosed with a mild form of environmental syndrome. I'm allergic to chemicals. My body does not produce the proper enzymes or enough of them to break down chemicals and pharmaceuticals and just everything. I have to be very careful what I eat. I have to be very careful what I drink. And from that came fibromyalgia. And I'm a cancer survivor. I have a condition called hypocholesteremia, which is for almost my whole life, my cholesterol's been way, way, way too low. Like, so low that I had several miscarriages because my body just couldn't build a baby. Um, on April 28th, 2015, I woke up with a headache. You know, just a headache, like on one side, like around my sinuses, like between my eye and my ear. And I just figured it's April in Colorado and I'm having allergies today, and I ignored it. Took an allergy tablet and some Tylenol, and then I went to work. The right side of my body was achy and numb, like I had pinched a nerve in my neck. It just, I just didn't feel 100%. But I'm a farm mom, and you just push through. You just do it. And that's what I did. I went to work. I went to the post office in Matheson, and I worked my 4 hours there. And then I went to the post office in Yoder, and the SSA there had to go for a doctor, so I did the rest of her shift. And I have holes in that day. Just I have a really good memory, and I have holes in that day. And I was coming home, and I was tired, and my head hurt. I was just sore, and I decided that instead of going home to do chores, I would go to the bus stop, about 3 miles from the house, and just wait for the girls. And I had my stroke at the bus stop, and my daughters found me. And then everything gets patchwork. I remember being in the car, and then I was laying on the ground, and our neighbor was holding me on the side, and I was having a seizure. And she was begging me not to die in front of my children. And they put me on a helicopter, and I don't remember anything about that except I looked down. It was very turbulent, and I am not a good flyer. And I lifted my head, and looked toward the mountains to see how far we were, because I just wanted to be out of the helicopter because it was going up and down, and I saw my feet were uncovered. They'd taken off my shoes and socks trying to get neuro responses out of my right side, and they couldn't. And I remember looking at the mountains, and then I glanced and I saw my toenails, and I thought, huh, I need to repaint my toenails, which is this craziest thing to think. While you're dying, possibly. I don't remember anything else until I was in the hospital, and the nurse was showing me cards and saying, "Tell me what this is." And she showed me a card with a baseball on it. And I literally could not make the word baseball come out of my mouth. I couldn't. I couldn't even make myself spell it. I knew what it was. I knew everything about baseball that I had known before. I could remember everything. I just couldn't express it. And they didn't know what was going on with me. When I was look at plaques and things on the wall, everything was like I was looking in a mirror at it. Everything was backwards. And I couldn't get simple words out. I ended up talking in synonyms, because is it synonyms? Words that mean the same. I that's what I did. And fortunately, my friend Bethany was there, and she and I are big word game people, so she could translate for me. I don't know how long I was in the hospital. Honestly, don't. I I came home, and you know, I I didn't know I had a stroke. I would wake up and not know I had a stroke. I had to put note cards all over the place in my own handwriting saying, "You have had a stroke. You are not going to the post office today. You have had a stroke. Do not go out and take care of the goats. You have had a stroke. Do not walk around without someone with you." And I just, by writing everything down and by constantly reading what I had written down, I was able to save the information in my rote memory. People have two kinds of memory. They have experiential memory that you live through, and then you have your rote memory that you learn. And so by writing and reading, I stored the information about my stroke in my rote. And that that's my disability. Is Everyone thinks 50 First Dates is a cute movie, and it is until you live it. And then it's not fun anymore. Oh, that was question 2, by the way. Have you had your illness your whole life? Question 3. What healthy coping skills have you learned because of your disability? I've learned to slow down. I've learned to ask for help, which is another thing with my willfulness. If before my stroke, I would ask someone to do something once or twice, and then I would do it myself. Everything. It didn't matter. I would do it myself. When I want it done, I want it done. Are you going to jump in my lap or not? Oh, come here. Mommy's bed. Meet Mooney. Okay, you've had your cameo. Go away. Um, um, the hardest part of it, the hardest thing for me to learn was not to get upset that I couldn't do it. I couldn't do things anymore. I couldn't be the caffeinated hummingbird that I was before my stroke. And that it's okay to get upset because I don't remember things, and the kids have to remind me, and my husband has to remind me, and my friends have to remind me, because if I don't write it down and read it several times, I sleep and it's gone. Do you apply your experience to your writing? Number 4. Yes, not really my stroke experiences, but other experiences from my life. Um, the I don't have fibromyalgia, but I do have inflammation and scarring on my muscles and bones from having an abusive father. And I include the childhood abuse that I suffered and recovered from in several of my books. The abuse that other people have gone through, I include. I think it's important for adult survivors to know that it's okay to talk about it. They're not alone. Because my stroke was a lacunar stroke, which is a non-bleed stroke, which means I had a blood clot come from somewhere else in my body and lodge in my brain. Because my stroke was a lacunar stroke, and I was at 0 risk for a stroke, I'm 100% likely to have another one. But it's very likely that the reason I had a stroke was because of the multiple concussions I had growing up. Only 2 of them were athletics related. All of the rest of them were because of my father. And when they examined me, they could see on my brain. They could see the old scar tissue, and they had a really hard time telling what was old damage and what was new damage. So I write about, recovering, growing up with an addict parent and a bipolar parent. I did write a character who, in one book, who suffered memory loss, and so I guess I do, but I do more the abuse recovery angle from my writing. Question 5. How does your chronic illness or disability alter your writing routine? It alters it a lot. Like today, I'm not going to be writing because my hands just on the right are swollen. I have a headache. My words aren't coming today. And the spot, directly behind my eye, go straight back to my ear and go forward just about this much. That's where it is. That's the place that hurts. It's about the size of a walnut. there's nothing they can do. Please don't put on this video that I just need some CBD oil because I live in Colorado. They gave me cannabis when I had cancer, and I am now violently allergic to CBD lotion, oil. The people, if I walk into someone's vape cloud and they've been vaping, have a CBD vape, I will have an asthma attack. I'm glad it works for you. It did wonders for the other women in my chemo group. It tried to kill me, and now I'm violently allergic. Question 6. How does it impact your writing style, characters, and topics? I don't really write about my stroke. My big writing trope that I always follow is recovery, is to recover. And I've recovered as far as I can from this. Maybe in the future I'll write about this, but mostly I write about the abuse that I suffered and how I recover from that. Now get down. Number 7. What about your chronic illness or disability has surprised you? Well, first that it happened, because I was super healthy. You know, this whole thing of people with, bad health no, I was super healthy. My blood pressure was great. My cholesterol was great. I didn't have blood sugar issues. I didn't have clotting issues. I had my environmental allergies, which were very easily manageable by just eating organics and growing my own food and my own milk and eggs. And, it's manageable. And, I was super healthy. I was getting ready to be part of a 5 and 10K fundraising walk and run. And I literally woke up with a headache one morning, and that night I was in the hospital, paralyzed, and my life as I knew it was over. I think because I was someone who always remembered everything, I think that's the biggest shock change to my life, is I don't remember anything now. With the memory loss and the brain damage, I lost all my music. I used to be like at the stars of religious music, and it's gone. I can't remember any of my languages. English, that's it. A little bit of Cherokee. Occasionally some Latin, but French, German, Japanese, gone. All of it's gone. Number 8. How did your family react? My girls were incredibly strong. They picked up the slack, doing the chores, cooking the meals, doing the housework. My youngest, who was 12 at the time, no, she was 10. She was 10 when it happened. She started doing all the cooking because I could remember what went into pancakes, and I could get all the ingredients out. but I couldn't figure out how to get from the ingredients to pancakes. All of my recipes, I have the ingredients in my head. I had to reteach myself how to make them. I can't sort mail anymore. My boss was very upset about me having to quit because I was her go-to person, and I couldn't sort mail anymore because my brain no longer sees individual things. And my family had to make a lot of adjustments because I couldn't shop anymore. I couldn't go grocery shopping because I would look at the shelf in the grocery store and I would see a single object and not shelves of objects, if that makes any sense. So they all really stepped up. Number 9, what do you celebrate about your chronic illness or disability? Be grateful for the time that I'm given. Just to I had a 0 risk stroke. I am 100% guaranteed I will have another one. I probably won't be lucky to survive the second. They don't know what caused it. They don't know what happened. So the thing that I celebrate is I'm not dead yet. Every day I wake up, regardless of how I feel, whether it's a good day or a bad day like today, it's one more day with my girls, my husband, and my farm. Sorry, I had to pause for a minute. Number 10, what is your favorite self-care? Welcome to my self-care. Sitting under my big elm tree, listening to the birds and the bees on the flowers in my yard, and the cats running around me. And they're all sticking close because they know I'm not good today. Just This is my self-care. This is what I do. I sit outside on the days even when I shouldn't be out in the sunlight. Because it's peaceful. This is my self-care. And those are my 10 questions for the disability and chronic illness tag. I hope that wherever you are, you understand that a lot of us that have these mostly invisible illnesses, we only go out on days we feel good. We only stream or record on days that this isn't happening. I don't just easier to hide than to explain why I'm not fine today. Fine. You don't look disabled. You look so much better the other day. Are you sick? No. The answer is no. When you saw me the other day, it was one of my 1 in 5 or 10 bad days that I was having a good day. The hardest part of it all is that the doctors, it's like they don't listen to me. I have a book. I'll show you a page. This is a symptom tracker. On this book, every day, I mark the days I have memory loss, vertigo, headaches, weakness, falls, speech problems, blurry vision, and tinnitus. And I bring them this much information. I bring them all of the information that I've acquired about my type of stroke, all the information about my recovery, and they don't listen. The doctors don't listen. They're like, it's in your head. You need cognitive behavioral therapy. I went to see a cognitive behavioral therapist, and she was like, you're the most balanced person I've ever met. And I'm like, thank you. I've been in therapy since I was 15 because of my parents. So those of us with invisible disabilities, it's not in our head. Well, in my case, it's in my head, literally. But we hurt and we mask and we try to cherish every day, even the bad ones, because you don't know if you're going to wake up tomorrow. You don't know if you're going to get hit walking to the mailbox by a car. So thank you for listening. And I had two choices when I became disabled: to become bitter or to become better. And I chose to become better.